Welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we're going to be checking out how to play against vehicles as bots. And this could be a little bit of a difficult topic as there is often times where you are going up against vehicles and they seem to have answers to everything, where you struggle to be able to maintain control of your front line. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today as bots, and just some tips that you can use to have a little bit of an advantage over your opponent. Anyway, we're starting out here with just our opening, no big deal, and our opponent is going to be a little bit weaker than us in OS. He's only got an OS of 9, so that could have played a role. And I'm not trying to say that this is an absolute guaranteed way to win every single match versus vehicles, but it can at least get you on the right track to doing so. So the thing with bots is they have a few less answers to the opposing vehicles. For instance, a Janus is able to wipe out large groups of units very rapidly. The Pounder can stun units to keep you from being able to push up and wipe early aggression. And then the artillery for vehicles are able to just bombard your static defense rather easily. So it can be kind of tough to actually get a proper hold of your front line when you are bots. So we're going to be checking this out. We're opening with, I think, like 8 ticks here. We got a total of, yes, 8 ticks coming across on the front line. And I'm not actually that good at harassing with ticks. I'm sure someone who is a little bit better at it and has practiced it more would do a lot more with the number of ticks that I had compared to me. Anyway, we just come up to the front, and he has some rovers here. He got some good vision. So Ateen is going to be following those ticks and making sure they don't shut down his economy here. Tick spam is usually a good opening to be able to at least get some vision, do a little bit of harassment, but I didn't group them properly, so they were not as strong as they could have been in their aggression. Anyway, back at base, we are opening up with a few more windmills, getting energy production going, and we have one bot going into metal upgrades across the map, upgrading our mexes all the way through to the front. And we got the second bot who's going to be helping with that as well. And so I have like 2 ways of doing it, where I might build a build turret back here and send my commander to the front. And another way that I'll often open is I will just leave my commander at base and have him act as a build turret. And both ways are relatively viable as long as you have a decent amount of constructors who are going to the front and actually upgrading mexes along the way. Obviously, it depends on the level of player you're up against. If you're up against higher level players, you're probably going to want your commander to the front. That way you can shut down units with D guns a little bit easier. And when you're up against lower level players, you can greed a little bit more and not have to spend that extra metal on a con turret back at base. So that's like 200 metal and a bit of energy that you can save. So it really just depends on the game, right? Anyway, we're just getting energy production going great. We're overflowing a little bit, which is kind of bad. We don't want to do that too much. And we have established our front line with a decent number of pawns as well. Whereas with Ateen, he has established a front line with a couple incisors. These are very fast and aggressive vehicles. You do not want to underestimate them. They can shut down your army rather quickly with only a handful of them. So definitely something to be cautious of there. And we can see he's got a couple build turrets going up and a little bit of energy conversion. I think he must have been E-stalling or E-overflowing a bit there. So he was planning on getting some of that. And we can see he's going to be upgrading his what do you call them? Construction turrets, getting a couple more of them up on the front line to continue to pump out units. We're scouting his turrets here, so you can see at this point we have a good view of where his front line is going to be established, which is important. If, for instance, he was pushing up forward a little bit more, I might pull back until I have a little bit more units to actually do the proper aggression. You can see he's pushing his incisors up here, and we want to try to take advantage of that. Any metal that we can get on our side is going to be valuable. Unfortunately, we only shut down one of those incisors, and he takes out several of our pawns. And that's one of the things about incisors. They are very, very strong units right off the bat. You can see we have some rocket bots coming out, and we also have a constructor here building a con turret. Now, these con turrets are just going to help me maintain a proper energy or metal consumption. And we're also going to be going to e-storage as well, so that we can prepare for our T2. And we also have the converters, just in case there's a little bit of energy overflow. That way we can convert that and get the most metal possible. So we got our second con-turret. I probably only needed one extra con-turret, but it is what it is. And we got our commander who's going to be helping that constructor as well. We got a radar up at the front here, and then they're going to keep going into mechs upgrades. Here you can see we're going for the invisible mechs, as they do act as a EMP to early units, and we also are pushing up our rocket bots here, and these rocket bots are going to be able to outrange his turrets and outrange any of his lighter units right off the bat, whereas our pawns are going to be able to do any protection that the rocket bots need. So if for some reason he pushes in on our rocket bots, we can defend. Here we had a little bit of a leak, so I end up sending all my pawns down this way and just doing a light harassment. Here we have this stealth mechs up at the front line, so that it cannot be taken out by artillery very easily unless he purposely targets it. So it will be invisible, and that will help us a bit. Now you can see we are largely maining into rocket bots, and that's because rocket bots have the range and mobility to deal with most of the vehicles. For instance, if he comes in with Janus, we can shut down the Januses before they get within range. If he comes in with artillery, we can push up to the artillery, doing the longer range damage to stay out of the way of the more heavy vehicles. And you can see he's going for some lashers, or lashers, that's the Cortex version. And lashers are pretty strong and do have longer range than rocket bots, but just by poking in and out and constantly giving a little bit of aggression, it makes it so that he struggles to be able to maintain the health of his vehicles, while we also are not taking that much damage ourselves. You see, one of these missiles only does like, what, 30 damage, 60 damage to one of our units, and that's not too much. So whereas one of these rockets actually does a total of 150 damage per shot, and we can stay in and out of combat. We also have a construction turret up at the front. This is just going to be helping us heal up, and we also have our res bots up at the front also healing up as well. And just a consistent poking in and out with those rocket bots while also healing them up, it gives us a significant advantage. Now the commander, since they've lost quite a few vehicles up on the front, partially due to Pink over here, he did a great job, and then also due to our aggression. You can see he's building some artillery to try to shut down these rocket bots, but it's just not going to be enough. So we go in, we get a little bit of extra damage, and we're just continuing to harass, and we've got a light. This is a twin guard, which has a little bit longer range than rocket bots, but it doesn't really matter because we just have so many rocket bots that we can shut down the twin guard without it really doing that much damage. I think we might have lost like 1 or 2 rocket bots in that engagement, and we have fully captured this whole area with nothing but bots versus vehicles. So maintaining a decent amount of early aggression, a decent amount of poking back and forth, while also making sure that your economy is well set up. And you can see here we've got T2 coming out, and we have several bots built going to help our T2 constructor upgrade our mexes, as that will be giving us 4 times the income that we had originally. And we are well on our way to victory with the bot lab. Now, if you guys have any other questions with how to play bots, or an issue that you seem to run into, please leave a comment down below and let me know just what you may have had as far as your experiences with bots versus vehicles. I know it can be tricky for some people. So yeah, definitely leave a comment down below if you enjoy this type of video. Please subscribe. We have more content like this coming out regularly, and we really are focused on guides here on this channel with live streams as well. So if that is something you guys would enjoy, please be sure to subscribe and like the video, and we will see you guys on the battlefield.